morning, students. As we have started our lesson number 7, that is colonial rule and education in India. So in first period, we have learned about the social concept and the education in India before the British. Okay, now in this period, we are going to learn about the British attitudes towards education. Okay, the British attitude towards education, that is the next point. Let us see. So in the early years of their rule, the British did not pay much attention to the issue of education. However, the various administrative and economic requirements of ruling countries soon forced them to refocus their attention. So what happened is, students, so early that British people, they did not give more focus regarding the education of Indian people, but in various administrative and economic requirements, for the purpose of this requirement, many ruling country, they force them to pay attention, to give focus towards Indian people's education. Okay, to see, the English East India Company required educated Indians for the variety of reasons. So there are many reasons why that British East India Company required this education. Okay, so see, and the company needed Indians for the proper functioning of its administrative departments. So see, what purpose that English East India Company required that, so to run their administrative departments. So in that department, they required some posts. The Indians who were all versed in classical and vernacular languages could assist the British in framing laws and policies. So which kind of people they selected? Those people, they know the various languages, the particular language of particular area, the vernacular languages, and also some that verse means they know about that some that language. So they help for what purpose? To make the laws and policies. Okay. So students, now first, for their administrative departments, they require the Indian people, those who know the vernacular language, different kinds of language from the different areas, different. Okay, then next point is that in the judicial department, the Indians converts in languages such as Sanskrit, Arabic or Persian were required to help the British judges in matters of law. So in the courts, they require those people, they know the different languages. They played role as a conversions. So means they translate language from one language to another, and they help to the judges in the court in their matter of law. Then the knowledge of Persian and vernacular languages was required in the political department for communicating with local rulers. So for what purpose they require such a kind of people? Those people who know the vernacular language, and also in their political departments, for what? For communicating with their rulers, with their, that time those were the king that time. Okay. Now next reason is for what? They choose Indian people in their departments, that is the clerical staff in the revenue and commercial departments. So as a clerk, as a commercial purpose, and the clerk in their offices, they require in revenue and commercial departments, was required to communicate the policies to the uneducated masses. So those were the uneducated people, to talk them. For that purpose, they appointed such a clerks in their revenue departments. Thus, the knowledge of vernacular languages was a must, but for that purpose, they required that people should know the vernacular language means the particular language of that particular area, particular region. Okay, though we have the one standard language, but as a India is, very well, many languages are there. So in this way, they then for those Indian who were placed in the higher positions of companies, bureaucracy, knowledge of English as well as vernacular languages was essential. So that time, the British people who appointed as officials, as a higher positions in that companies, bureaucracy, as a their administration, so that people they should know the vernacular language as well as the English. So such a kind of knowledge was essential for them. So for that purpose, they gave the education to Indian people. That were the reasons. Now see, next point is that the Orientalist versus the Anglicists. So this the Orientalist versus the Anglicists. So Orientalist means those who give the importance to that or basic or the traditional education, and Anglicists means they who introduce, they give importance to the Western as a English education. So they were opposite each other. To see how in the year 1981, see, Warren Hastings founded the Madras Aliyah in Calcutta, now Kolkata, for the study of Perso-Arabian languages and Islamic law. So what happened in the year of 1781 century, that Warren Hastings, he founded that Madras Aliyah in Calcutta. For what purpose? For the purpose of the study of Perso-Arabic languages and Islamic law. So in the year 1784, see, the Asiatic Society was founded by William Jones, a judge of Supreme Court in Calcutta. So that the court of Supreme Court in Kolkata, that is William Jones. So he started this Asiatic Society when in the year of 1784. But what purpose he founded this society? So to promote the study of ancient Indian history and Indian language. So that William Jones, the judge of Supreme Court in Calcutta, for the purpose of the study of ancient Indian history and Indian languages, he founded this Asiatic Society in the year of 1784. Now see, the next point is, a few years later, in the year 1791, the government Sanskrit college was set up in Varanasi by Jonathan Duncan, the residents, to encourage the learning of Indian subjects. So in the year of 1791, the government Sanskrit college was set up where? In Varanasi, and who? By the Jonathan Duncan and the resident, to encourage the learning of Indian subjects. So for that purpose, he started such kind of government college. All the three institutions, as mentioned above, were opened by men who were Orientalists. So who appointed and who, whatever the societies, institutions regarding the studies, the history, the subjects, they were opened by the men who gave important, and they were known as the Orientalist. See, let us see what do you mean by Orientalist. So see here, respected the culture and heritage of India. So those people who are the Orientalists, so in India, those people who respected the culture and heritage of our India and studied and appreciate the languages, literature, art, history, laws, religious and philosophies of ancient India. So those people who give importance to our culture, our religions, our history and our literature, our dramas, means what are the writing material, and our philosophies of ancient India. So they people known as the Orientalists. Next point, believe that India should be governed according to its own set of laws. So what they believe? That people believe India should govern with their own laws and not according to the Western system. So, when they oppose to the Western or the English culture, English system, that law should be on the base of Indian culture, a system of administration that the British wanted to impose on the people. So, which that British wanted to impose to give to the Indian people. So, that should not happen. Okay, so these people who believe in that, they known as the Orientalists. Under the influence of Orientalists, when the Charter Act of 1813 was passed, it provided for an annual expenditure of 1 lakh rupees to review the study of Sanskrit and Arabic. So what happened, students? In the year of 1813, there was the Charter Act was passed, means is agreed and it's passed, and that is according to this there should be provided the expenditure of this college, of this institute, at least 1 lakh rupees for the study of Sanskrit and Arabic, and promote the spread of scientific knowledge among the people. What they put, and through this they spread the scientific knowledge among the Indian people. Now see, however, these early attempts to encourage the education of the people in Oriental languages met with very little success, as three were three major. So what happened about students? Though it started this based Oriental languages, but very little success, not very in a high level they succeeded, but they succeeded in their at a small scale, though they were the three major groups opposing the Orientalists. So there was the opposition from the three major groups. Okay, let us see which are these three groups who oppose to this Orientalists. So see, the Christian missionaries, the first group is of Christian missionaries. They advocated the teaching of Western literature. So they advocated, they accepted the which kind of teaching from as the Western literature and Christian religion, with English as the medium of instruction. So what they impose, the medium of teaching should be throughout the English, and they impose as a Christian knowledge, as a Christian religion. So in order to rescue the natives from their uncivilized and backward past, so means through this what they wanted to civilize, to encourage the people, those as suppose they are the backward. Now second group is who oppose to that Orientalist, that is progressive Indians, means those who wanted to progress with the help of this that Western culture, that Western method of education. So see, the group included several individuals such as the Raja Ram Mohan Rai, who appreciate the importance of traditional learning but favor the spread of Western education. So one of that person, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, as you know, who the one of the greatest people in our person in our country. So he gave as very important, and he gave our traditional education also. Along with this, he also spread about the which kind of education, Western education. And under their influence, the Calcutta Hindu College was set up in the year 1817. So under his influence, under his guidance, there was the setup of Calcutta Hindu College in the year of 1870 to impart education in English language and focus on the study of Western philosophy and science. For what purpose? To impart, to give, to pass the English language and focus on the study of Western philosophy and science. Means Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He also appreciate, but he also supported to the Western system of education. Now next third group is the Anglicist. The biggest threat to the Orientalists came from the Anglicist. So that Orientalist, the threat from that people, from the Anglicists. The Anglicists did not agree with the Orientalists in encouraging Oriental learning. So those were the that people Anglicist means who wanted to start as a English as a religion as a system of education in India. So they opposed to that Orientalist. So and now instead to spread Western knowledge and learning with English being the medium of instruction. So what they thought there should be a English is the medium of instruction. That English is the medium of instruction. Now students, we stop here. Next of the part we continue our next period. Okay.